What? 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 Why can't you? 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 I did this. Why can't you?
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Tim. My camera is way too high. There we go. All right, that's better. All right. Welcome to the Bin Podcast. Headliners, I'm Tim. So I was recently informed that someone who shall remain nameless, Mikey Famine, is taking the day off. Part-time in it. So it's all me today. At least for headliners. And maybe he'll be back for Unboxed. Who knows? Who knows? So this is my show now. I am the captain. And I got a whole bunch of clips lined up about it. So much stuff has happened in the last 2 days that's kind of fucking crazy. I'm not centered in the vertical. I don't like this. Just me. Anyway, yes, I am the captain now. Let me say hi to all the people in the chat. Oh, let me try and do this here. I gotta run multiple things at the same time. All right, so first, hey, Mikey. I got one for you, buddy. I got one for you.
Wait till I come.
Mikey likes to be the first.
He's
in the
looking
chat.
down the end of his little nose.
Adam. Oh, let's see. Good one.
Read history. You learn from history.
McKinnon. Hi, McKinnon. McKinnon is our t-shirt design guy.
If you only knew how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it.
Diz.
We got a runner. Go! Freeze, sir! Freeze!
Chris C.
Thank you for your question, Senator.
Gina.
Your data, dumbass.
And I'm sure more will be on the way. Mikey's not here, so mods, help me out. If the trolls are getting out of control, teach them a lesson. Don't ban anyone for, the regular stuff, but we need a little bit more control in this episode. I'm all by my lonesome. Yes, the dual monitor setup. I didn't put any settings into the stream for moderation, so you guys do what you got to do. That's all I'm gonna say. Do what you got to do. Let's see. So we got a couple of videos here. Let me put me on the right setting. There we go. This first video. It's the ghost of Mikey Famine. Oh no!
All right,
if only he believed in such things.
Yeah, I don't. So have a good show. I think I put stuff in the playlist, and now we're going to the fun adventure little kids kinetic energy burn park.
Ooh, yeah, run out the energy of them kids.
So I can sleep, maybe.
I see them.
Dude,
you could master plan.
Dude, you could just watch this guy for the whole show and be cackling like a fucking sea dog. Well,
yeah,
McKinnon wants to be on the show.
McKinnon can be on the show.
Toodaloo.
Bye, Mikey. Have fun. The ghost is running the sounds now. Yeah, so we're gonna play some of this because so current senator, current nominee for replacing Kristi Noem, is Markwayne Mullin, the guy with 3 names. And he is rather a contentious fellow.
It's the standard practice of this committee for the chairman to ask nominees the following question. Do you agree without reservation to comply with any request or summons to appear or testify before any duly constituted committee of Congress if you're confirmed?
This dude does want to fight everyone.
I do.
We'll now proceed to 7 minutes of questioning. The record should show, and I think will show, a lack of contrition, no apology, and no regrets for your...
Well, by the way, I turned the ads on. I forgot to do that at the beginning, but when you guys see ads, let me know. Let me know what they are.
Support. You completely understand the violence that was perpetrated on me. You're unrepentant. The only thing you quibble about is whether I met you somehow when you were in the house. I don't think we ever met when you were in the house. And this idea that the only thing you're upset about is not that you were for violence. What you're upset about is that I called you a liar because you said it to my face. So it's really more about this machismo that you have. When in Oklahoma, the media asked you about the refugee welfare programs, the programs you voted to continue funding, it was this whole idea that you were going to transfer it because you were uncomfortable, your anger, low impulse control, causes you to then go after and decide that you're going to go after me as well. And so you say you completely understood that I was assaulted from behind, had 6 ribs broken and part of my lung removed, and that was just fine. That's something that you...
So if anyone doesn't know the context of this, because you don't follow Rand Paul's career specifically, a while back, Rand Paul was assaulted and injured, injured pretty badly. Like, he had broken ribs, a punctured lung, and all that stuff, and he was out of action for a bit. And Markwayne Mullin basically was like, good. He got what he deserved. Not exactly those words, but those were the sentiment of what he said. And Markwayne Mullin has never apologized to Rand Paul for saying the things that he said. And Rand Paul and Markwayne Mullin have been very adversarial. So there you go. Also, Markwayne Mullin has said many things about Rand Paul that are not keeping with the decorum of the Senate, we'll call it.
I guess, approve of as far as resolution of political problems. When I talked to you privately on the phone, there was no apology. You just said, well, we can let our political difference, go by. And you said a few minutes ago, we can just set it aside. Well, political differences we can, but when you say that you agree with a felon, a Trump-hating felon who attacked me, somehow you think I'm just going to set that aside? Oh, it's no big deal. I lay in pain for 2 months, had 6 ribs broken, 3 of them separated, grinding upon bone for months, had part of my lung removed, and you think that's great and to be extolled. I mean, the sheer lack of any kind of self-awareness that you're going to be leading thousands of men and women who will have the use of force, and there's been great questions in our country about how that will be used, and you think a violent attack is just fine. So I guess my first question is, do you think that justifying that kind of violence sets a good example for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol?
I could live with that.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, I didn't know the extent of your damage. When the phone call was made, I made it to you and I tried to talk to you. You didn't engage at all. In fact, you said, get your paperwork in. It's got to be 3 days in between.
You offered no apology.
Sir?
And you offer no apology today and no regrets. Haven't heard the word apologize, haven't heard the word regret, haven't heard I misspoke and it was heated and I made a mistake. Haven't heard any of those words.
Sir, actually, it wasn't heated. And I'm not apologizing for pointing out your character.
Good. So you're jolly well fine, and you want the American public and the people up here to vote that may or may not vote for you to know that you supported the felonious, violent attack on me from behind.
I did not say I supported it. I said I understood it. There's a difference.
Oh, so that means you really didn't approve of it, just completely understand it. What do you think most people would interpret completely understand?
He said, I'm not sorry, but I do understand why it happens to you. That's what he said. He said, I didn't apologize for it. I said I understood it. Yeah, and you didn't even send a get well card.
Be support for or a condemnation of the violence?
Sir, as I said, we can have our differences. It's not going to keep me from doing my job as Secretary of Homeland Security. I'm going to secure Kentucky and take care of Kentucky as much as I am Oklahoma.
If this were a one-off, it would be one thing. If you just disliked me so much that you approved of violence against me, people could just write it off. Well, maybe they hate each other.
Oh my God, we can't see it. Oh my God.
But really, there's a pattern of this. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
I am the captain. I will ruin this show if I want.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
Awful. Maybe they hate each other. But really, there's a pattern of this. Let's go ahead and roll the tape.
You know.
So this upcoming clip is something that I believe we reviewed on Unboxed last year. Because it's a doozy. Or no, it must have been 2024 we reviewed it on Unboxed because Bernie Sanders is the chair of the committee at the time. So, boy, it's a doozy.
Where to find me?
Yeah. Also, where is it? I need to have.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place.
Billy, what's up?
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
The man that he's arguing with here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Is this man is the head of the Teamsters Union. And they had a Twitter back and forth, a social media back and forth, where they were calling each other out on social media. Markwayne Mullin thought it was appropriate to bring this to a Senate hearing.
Stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
Oh,
guy.
stop it.
Is that your solution every poll?
No, sit down. Sit down. Look at you. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay. Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr.
Hold it.
If he got up too, would you have gone at it right there in the hearing room?
I would have probably jumped over the dais at that point. You have to be called out on it. If not, this guy continues to get away with this stuff.
These are subsequent interviews? That's hilarious.
You know, it's silly, it's stupid, but every now and then you need to get punched in the face.
Well, go back to the 1800s and 1700s. They used to have canings.
And duels. And they used to have duels. Yeah.
Right. And there's a way that men used to settle their differences. I ignored him 4 times prior to that. And people say, yes, you're supposed to ignore it. Well, you know, I'm not.
Oh, he injured my honor. I must defend my honor. Who is Markwayne Mullin's second going to be in this duel? Because you got to have a second, and they have to like try and negotiate the terms of the duel, right? Comment from the chat. It's evident from Markwayne Mullin's face how difficult it is for him to control his little brain bouncing around inside his empty hollow skull, like a ping pong ball. Yeah, Chrissy says, "Oh my God, he wants to go back to the good old days of dueling with pistols." I think he would be bad. Mark is jealous of Turkish Parliament fistfights. Probably.
I'm a good Christian. I try to be a good Christian, and I know people say you're supposed to turn the other cheek. I prefer the David method.
But we need to move from an almost.
And by the way, I'm not afraid of biting. I will bite.
Biting?
I'll bite.
He also, what does he want? Bare knuckle brawls? What's going on here? He's like, I'm not afraid to bite. Dude, I know that like the decorum thing is the Senate is fucking made up nonsense, but have some fucking personal respect.
I'm in a fight. I'm going to bite. I'll do anything. I mean, I'm not above it. And I don't care where I bite, by the way.
They want to make this guy the head of DHS.
It just is going to
steel cage match. Right. He's talking like he's a professional wrestler. A heel at that.
In hindsight, any regrets?
No, I really don't.
So no regrets. In fact, even after your anger had cooled, you were still bragging that if he'd only been brave enough to stand up, you'd have jumped over the dais and taught him a lesson, because that's how men should settle their differences. Do you think fighting as a resolution for political differences is a good example for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol?
As you can notice over my shoulder here is my good friend Sean O'Brien. Both of us have had conversations. Both of us have shaken hands. And both of us
Oh, is that him that's him right over here? Sean O'Brien? Is that the union guy?
agreed we could have done things different. Sean is someone that
He came, apologized to Sean O'Brien and was like, hey, I need you to come to this hearing because I know what they're going to play. He's like, I know what they're going to do. So I need you to come and pretend like we're friends.
become a close friend. We talk all the time. I've been on his podcast.
Yeah,
We've
that's
talked
shitty.
through this. That's how you handle your differences. Not like this, Chairman.
I'm glad you guys are friends now and that you've reconciled. But really, it doesn't get to the real point whether or not you think violence is the way we settle things. In the days after the fight, you said, and I quote, sometimes people just need to be punched in the face. Is that still your opinion that political disputes can sometimes and often only be resolved?
There's a part
by
where he
violence?
cries.
No,
I'm going to find it.
I don't always agree with that. I don't believe in political violence. I've made that very clear. But sometimes people do need, theoretically speaking, sir, I get it. It's about character assassination for you. That's the way this game is played. I understand it. And you are making this about you, which is fine, but that doesn't keep me as Secretary of Homeland Security.
Character assassination when you were the one lauding the assault. Who do you think started that character assassination? I'm just repeating what you have done in character assassination. I'm repeating your support for the assault. So that's somehow something I started?
No, sir. What I'm saying is you're adding a lot to it.
In the days after the fight, you did many interviews in which you justified the violence as historically justified by precedents, such as caning and dueling. Is it today your opinion that the caning of Charles Sumner was not only justified, but argues still for resolving our political differences with violence?
What I was simply pointing out is some of the rules that still apply to this body. For instance, dueling with two consenting adults is still there. I was pointing out what is still
illegal
acceptable.
for 170 years.
He's like, we can still duel. It has been illegal for 170 years. And in some places longer than that.
There. I was pointing out what is still
illegal
acceptable.
for 170 years. There's no precedent for legal dueling. Even then they fled the country. Do you realize that the man that beat Charles Sumner with a cane, he beat him till he was unconscious? You know why no senators intervened? Because his friend held a gun on the other senators and he kept beating him until he crushed his skull. That's what you're insinuating is the precedent of the Senate, and that's what you live by. That is a very, very dangerous sentiment. After a half a dozen victory lap interviews where you pointed out that the union guy was just lucky that fear kept him from standing up, Dana Bash asked you if you have any regrets about bringing violence to a Senate committee, and you replied that you have no regrets. Today you've said you have no regrets about being happy, being completely understanding why I was attacked from behind. You had no regrets about, instigating a brawl in a Senate committee hearing. Are those still your opinions?
Mr. Chairman, you're going to have your opinion. I'm going to have mine. As Secretary of Homeland Security, I'm going to bring peace of mind.
Man, he didn't apologize once. Not once did he say, my bad. Boy, oh boy.
You have no decency. You have no honor.
So we got other videos on the old playlist here. Give me 1 second. Actually bring up the playlist because I don't think that was actually the playlist. And we'll probably see that video again on Unboxed so we can review it. Because oh geez. Okay, to the title of the episode. Hey guys, did you know the Trump administration is lying to you?
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to discuss this administration's massive cover-up of the Epstein files in order to conceal President Trump's involvement. This cover-up reached its apex last month when Attorney General Pam Bondi falsely testified under oath before the House Judiciary Committee. The Attorney General testified, quote, "There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that," unquote. This is a lie. In the 3 million or so documents that the DOJ has disclosed to Congress under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, there is credible evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime. And that, of course, excludes the nearly 3 million pages
What?
that the DOJ is refusing
No fucking way.
to turn over. Donald Trump is mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein files. There are multiple allegations that he sexually assaulted young girls. But I want to focus on one victim's allegations that the
Hey, I'm pretty sure this
FBI
guy did look up the report.
unquestionably found to be credible. The DOJ tried to hide reports of 3 of the 4.
Comment from the chat about the Rand Paul video. He didn't need to apologize because Rand Paul is a, well, that's not how you spell, that's not how you spell jerk. But Rand Paul, listen, I don't agree with a lot of the things that Rand Paul says or does. I'm not a libertarian. I'm not a conservative. But Rand Paul is one of the most consistent people in the Congress. And Markwayne Mullin is just a loose cannon of a person who doesn't, I think he feels feelings to the extreme, and it might be a problem to put him in to fucking DHS.
Interviews that this victim gave to the FBI, but pressure from the media and Congress forced them to disclose them.
Oh,
and now we know
we're gonna
why.
find out what the crime is.
She credibly accuses Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her when she was between 13 and 15. In each of her interviews, this victim recited the same account of her interaction with Donald Trump. On August 7th, 2019, she explained that she was between 13 and 15 when she was left alone with Donald Trump, who, quote, mentioned something to the effect of, "Let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be." Trump unzipped his pants and put her head down, quote, down to his penis, bit the S out of it. Trump struck the victim and said words to the effect of, "Get this little B the hell out of here." The victim advised that she bit Trump's penis because he disgusted her. She provided some additional details in the next interview 2 weeks later, and then
I believe the file number for this is at the bottom of the little card here if you want to look it up.
a month later, she met again with the FBI and asked, quote, what the point would be of providing the information at this point in her life when there was a strong possibility nothing could be done about it. She didn't speak to the FBI.
If you want to look up the file number, it's EFTA_0005 7737-8.
FBI again. But the FBI certainly found her story credible. In a 21-page PowerPoint presentation that the FBI made to prosecutors, they included this victim's testimony. They would not have done so if they did not find the evidence credible, which means that Attorney General Bondi lied when she stated under oath that there is no evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime. But we're just scratching the surface, because the Epstein files also reveal that Donald Trump has made false statements over the past quarter century about Jeffrey Epstein. We know in 2002, he called him a terrific guy and said, quote, it is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. In a birthday card, 2003, that Donald Trump gave to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday, Donald wrote for himself that we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Enigmas never aged. Have you noticed that? A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. But in that same year, Palm Beach County opened an investigation into Epstein that eventually was turned over to the FBI. The investigation became public in 2006.
You know it's a crime to lie to the FBI, right? It's a crime to lie to law enforcement, right? If they find out that you filed a false report. I mean, they found it credible. They must have evidence.
And the Palm Beach County police chief received a call quickly after from Donald Trump, where Trump told
He won't
him,
be missed.
"Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." What innocent person calls the police chief about an investigation upon just learning about it? The recent documents also show that Jeffrey Epstein emailed Ghislaine Maxwell and said, quote, "I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Redacted victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned." Trump also denied that he ever went on Epstein's plane. But of course, the Southern District of New York said that he was on his plane 8 times, often with young women.
Hey, I
The
thought you were
reason
done
why this
listening to the
matters
show. You're
is
still here.
because we don't have half of the Epstein files. And if the Attorney General is covering this up in such a degree that she is redacting things from Congress, that she then redacting things from the public that she then shows to Congress, what else is she covering up? And I would just show that this document here was redacted to the public, it was unredacted to Congress, and it completely disputes everything that Donald Trump has said about Jeffrey Epstein, about what he knew about the allegations, about his disgusting behavior, about whether he'd ever been to Epstein's house, saying, "I may have been there with my wife." Asked if any young...
Yo, I love the whataboutism in the fucking chat. Oh, if Joe Biden could release them, he would have done it. And so would Trump if he wasn't forced by law to, right? Trump was going to release them the first day he was president, right? Right? Oh, and we got what about Bill Clinton? Fuck Bill Clinton. He's in the Epstein files too. Two things can be true at the same time. They both deserve to go to jail. Hillary too. Who else you got? What else you got? Nothing. You just got complaints.
Girls were there. No. He may have had children of guests, but that's it. Well, we know that's not the case. Now, why is this important? Because if the Attorney General is covering up this information that she then reveals to Congress, what else is she covering up about Donald Trump's involvement in the Epstein files? I yield back.
Members are reminded to refrain again from engaging in
Oh, we already watched Markwayne Mullin make a fool of himself. What else? What else we got? Oh yeah, more Markwayne Mullin.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for our conversation yesterday. I want to just actually add on to what Senator Langford was saying and just focus on the attack we had at a temple that's very close to my heart in Michigan, place I know well.
Listen, they had the Epstein files all the way up to the Bush administration. So 4 to 5 presidential administrations are complicit in covering this up. It's Democrats and Republicans, guys. You guys all wanted to fucking defend Trump. I'm not defending anybody. It was Bush, it was Obama, it was Clinton, it was you name it, Biden, Trump, all of them. They all helped cover it up. They all did it, guys. I don't know why you're defending Trump on this. He's one of the prime suspects. But also, so is Bill Clinton. Also, Joe Biden helped cover it up. Also, Barack Obama didn't do anything about it. Also, Bush didn't do anything about it. So, if y'all just want to be ignorant, then that's fine. But really, like, look at it. Really open your eyes about the true conspiracy. Is that the presidential administrations going back almost 20 years tried to cover this up. Also, someone fucking get some of these people fucking out of this chat. I'm not playing that game today. Sorry, we're not doing that. Yeah. 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 Hate speech will not be tolerated in this chat. Sorry. Comment from Mikey Famine in the chat. Why are YouTube hosts lying and Trump telling the truth? Do I have proof that all of the administrations covered it up? Well, how many administrations released the files? That's everyone's argument all the time. Epstein first got picked up in what, 2008? So they gave him the sweetheart deal in what, 2009? And then after then, everyone knew he was a pedophile from 2009 till he died? For 10 years? And nobody did anything? Come on, guys. It's ignorant to think that nobody was covering this up for decades, except for Joe Biden. It's silly. And it doesn't make sense in your own conspiracy theories.
Last week, we had an anti-Semitic attack meant to terrorize not just that synagogue, but the entire Jewish community. And I think the light is really blinking red.
Here, Diz is correct. One of the first victims came forward to the FBI in 1997, 11 years before Epstein was picked up the first time. And Mikey said from the chat, Biden said that there were open cases, they couldn't grab him. I call bull. He could have blown the whistle, but Israel wouldn't let him. Yeah, Bill Clinton fucking lied to save his own skin. He's part of the fucking conspiracy, guys. So did Hillary. There's half of these files aren't even out. The half that we know about aren't even out. Bill Clinton was on the plane several times. So was Trump. There's records that prove it. Epstein loaned Trump his plane for his campaign. Come on. Like, why does it seem that I'm the crazy one here? Well, come on. You just got to look at the basic evidence. The email that we just saw a while back to Epstein that said Trump is the dog that hasn't barked. What does he have? What hasn't he barked about? They know Trump can't keep secrets. He can't keep secrets. Eventually his melting brain is going to blurt it out at some point.
And that is the feeling for the Jewish community. And just as an objective statement, the Jewish community is 10 times more likely to be the victim of a hate crime than all other religious groups combined. That's not a political statement. That's a factual statement from FBI data. We talked about the need to work together. The Jewish community is spending about $1 billion.
You name me one secret that Trump has kept. One thing that Trump has fucking kept. He can't keep secrets unless they're what, his? Maybe. Trump tells on himself all the time. That dude has no brain. It's getting worse too.
$1 billion a year privately securing their own institutions. No religious group should have to spend that amount of money that could be going to lots of other things on their own security in the United States of America. So I would just ask your help in reforming the nonprofit security grant program so it's agile, so you don't have to like win the grant and then still do 100 pieces of paper, maybe even looking at a rapid reaction fund, but certainly asking for some sort of task force. You know, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, I'm the sheep. Yeah, I'm deranged. I have TDS, right? I'm the deranged one. But the president the other day said he might bomb Iran if he might stop bombing Iran if he feels it in his bones, or he might bomb that island again just for funsies. right? I'm the deranged one. We let a fucking oxygenarian run the country whose brain is clearly fucking melting in his head, and we're all cool with it. He's putting us into wars for no reason other than he wanted to. They just asked Congress for $200 billion to fund this war. That's already driving up the cost of everything for no reason other than Israel wanted to, and President Trump thought it would be a cool idea, and Pete Hegseth really wanted to blow shit up. But I'm the deranged one.
Thinking about the community in Australia that went to the Australian government, the Jewish community, and said, we're seeing just a real uptick in threats. We're terrified. And then we have Bondi Beach and a very horrible thing. So can we just agree in public, again, on a bipartisan basis, to sit together to reform this program and figure out how we manage to the threat, because we're not hitting it right now.
Now, I'm basically ignoring this video for a moment, but we'll go back to it. So I will say, hate speech won't be tolerated in the chat. I don't care what they say about me. I can handle it. But the mods have whatever, man. There's no Mikey today, so I need a little bit more, I guess, support in the mod department. You guys can use your own discretion, but don't just get people out of here for just saying stuff that we don't like. Let them stay until they do harmful shit, and then get them out of here.
Senator, you have a wealth of knowledge from your service in the intel community, and you will know this issue probably better than me. And so I would welcome the opportunity to sit down and talk to you, figure out what we need to do. I know this is very personal to you, and that's great. We may have some differences on some political views, but this isn't one. You and I will be, laser focused and get this resolved if it's possible. But yes, I would absolutely welcome an opportunity to work with you on that.
Great, I appreciate that. I think, in general, your position or your future position as Secretary of Homeland Security sits at like the fulcrum of these big issues we're having as a country. Just big cultural issues. The use of law enforcement in our streets and where our rights begin and end, and then our elections, our democracy. And given the importance of that, I think it's important that we state really clearly where you are on those two issues. I think first and foremost on the use of ICE. My state voted for Donald Trump in 2024. A lot of people supported the president's immigration agenda, but then they watched with their own eyes, not filtered through a news source. They watched with their own eyes American citizens killed in their streets for protesting. They saw children caught in the crossfire and being tear gassed. They saw people randomly being pulled out of their cars and
no, it's for no reason. It's for no reason. You youngers need to learn to pay attention. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I thought Trump already did that, man. When he dropped that fucking Moab months earlier. Destroyed their nuclear capability, right? Set them back decades. What? There's no reason for this except for Israel really wanted a war, and Pete Hegseth likes talking like a Call of Duty chat. That's it. What's the reason? Except for support the military industrial complex, right? That's the only reason. Support the military industrial complex. Keep fucking Palantir running. And I guess use up munitions we've had lying around for decades. That's it. There's no real reason. Trump just fucking decided one day. He decided he felt like it. He needed a distraction from the Epstein files. Another one. Because it won't go away. Because we won't let it go away.
walking down the streets because they happen to look like they could be an immigrant and checked for their papers, which for many of us has a real history. They have seen people law enforcement go into people's homes without a judicial warrant for a country that was invented because we were being oppressed by a foreign force that demanded entry into our homes. So you say you don't want ICE in the news. You say you want to rebuild trust. Your predecessor was fired because she couldn't manage that. And, people had to go in and bring the temperature down. Can you, without other words, just state clearly what you'd be willing to do to fundamentally reform ICE and put into law to do so, since that trust is gone?
Ma'am, as you know, I can't make the law. You guys make that
But
for
you're
me.
going to be the secretary.
Yes, I agree, but I can't make the law. I can work within the parameters.
But tell us what you'd be willing to put into law.
So right now, the law that I work into is your guys' decision. We'll work through that. But I do believe there is a better approach. And I think working with municipalities, I would love to see ICE become a transport more than the front line. If we can get back into just simply working with law enforcement, we're going to them and we're picking up these criminals from their jail. One, we're going to reimburse them for having.
Why would they say they had enough uranium for 11 bombs? They were going to give that up. Everyone, I don't know if you people forgot, and by you people, I mean MAGA. I don't know if you guys forgot, but right up until the day before we bombed Iran, they were negotiating with a third party. They were going to give Trump everything he wanted. They were going to give him a better deal than they gave Obama. They were going to give up all that uranium. That's why they said they had it. They weren't anywhere near enriching it. See, this person is just spouting. It's just MAGA talking points. That's all it is. It's just MAGA talking points. The Iranian regime was not good. But we created it 47 years ago. We did that. When we decided to fuck with their politics. The whole Iran hostage crisis caused by us 10 years earlier. And then like usual, America doesn't like to clean up its own messes or handle things in a rational manner. All these groups that we end up supporting that turn on us in the end. The Iranian regime, not good, bad. But so was like Saddam. But we created him too. So was, hey Mikey, what's going on? I thought you were leaving.
I took my shower first.
Oh.
So, hi guys. You guys are fucking toxic in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, they're pretty. They were like, oh, Tim's by himself? Yeah, let's go.
Unreal. Jesus. Go on.
I don't know what I was ranting about. I think I was ranting about how America causes all of our enemies.
Oh, this one's funny. They got deleted. As if you guys are not trying to do the same thing. Look at Hegseth's chest. It's covered with white Christian nationalist tattoos. He has infidel or kafir on his arm. He is Al-Qaeda. You are Al-Qaeda. That's y'all. Y'all want to be the terrorists next. We're not funding it. So fuck you. You don't get any money.
Yeah, it's the Wild West out there in the chat today.
Hi. Yes, I'm buff now. I was back there just pouring portions on myself. That's called shampoo and conditioner.
Oh, Mikey, we're just another America bad stream.
Dude, here, Brad, are you emotionally attached to how people talk about a country's politics? Because facts don't care about your feelings, baby back bitch. Go fucking cry somewhere, you
Mikey,
fucking weak-throated bitch. I'm not staying the whole time. I'm just here to fucking insult people and keep it rolling. You know what I mean?
We are not patriotic enough for some of these people.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Or nationalist, I guess. Because
That's
it's not
what it is. We're not-
patriotism that they're after; it's nationalism.
You know, patriots swear an oath to defend the Constitution. Is Trump patriotic when he flouts the Constitution right in your fucking face? And you say, yeah, daddy, abuse that Constitution. Oh my God, give me that boot. Oh, give me that boot. Oh, give me that boot. Just because you guys are sexually aroused by fucking letting an old man tell you what to do.
They just want daddy to tread on them.
I love crap streams. Gimme. Yeah, that's us. It's confirmed. No, you're a fucking cuck, dude. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, we're not here to yuck your yums, but hey, let's.
Fred doesn't lick boots; he gargles.
He's a boot gucker.
Speaking of the boot,
there and partnership is vitally important. I don't think there needs to be a law to change that. I think I can work within what is there, but there's an approach that can.
Iran gate keeps Europe, EU, and UK oil. If Europe can't secure oil from the Gulf states, they'll be back to Russian oil. Your fucking Mr. Patriotism fucking lifted the sanctions on Russia. You're part of the Russian underbelly that's trying to disrupt this country, Brad. Hey, Brad, why do you love Russia so much, Brad? Why don't you go and fucking marry it if you love it so much?
Well, I like how the username here gives it away. First of all,
yeah. Second where's of all, Romans? First Romans.
Second of all, Europe was reliant on Russian oil, and then they said we don't want that Russian oil anymore because we don't want to fund the war with Iran or the war with Ukraine.
But everybody kept their Israeli fucking spy technology that they're using on you, Brad. Right now, Brad, there's an Israeli sponsored Peter Thiel operation watching all of your social media, all of your comments, all your posts in here. They're watching that shit and they're building a personal profile just for you.
And before this war started with Iran, the price of oil, the way it was choking the Russian military economy. Now it's way up, and we lifted the sanction on Russian oil, and now they're making buku bucks.
They've been made solvent. They've made back all the money they spent in the war by lifting those sanctions.
So I really want the people in the chat who are really for this war in Iran to tell me one positive aspect of this war.
Have you heard that the USA lifting sanctions on Iranian oil? Because they can't do anything. Because they're not gonna. You go get your ship and go out there in the strait.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm right behind you. Yeah, we need to unmute democracy around here. You know what I'm saying?
If only there was a website for that.
And the lady was saying that a friend of Kat went on that lady's show, and then that lady went on Chris Hayes' show. So nothing that they were doing is beneath board because they went and did each other's podcasts. It's like, you still paid people to talk shit on Kat. Fuck you.
Oh, speaking of Kat for a minute here, we'll
you only got me for like a solid 10 until she's ready to go.
Yeah. So I saw on my socials that the lead singer of the Dropkick Murphys did a campaign ad with Kat.
That's awesome.
And anything the Dropkick Murphys are for, I'm for. So it just goes to show, because they are union guys, they're pro workers, they're a pretty liberal punk band, and they really fucking hate Trump. So like anytime the lead singer of the Dropkick Murphys shows up for a candidate, I'm like, yeah, that's the right person.
Wait, there's more. The modern world is waiting for the third world ideology, being second player controlled by these knuckleheads. I wish there was a quick way. I wish I could do like the Matrix thing where they plug the thing in and I could just like download into you guys the history of Tehran and Iran in general.
Yeah.
Brother, they have been waiting to fight us for 20 years. That general was sitting there smoking a cigarette, fucking, dude, like, well, what if they send in troops? He was like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, y'all know how big Iran is, right?
He's in there. We're waiting for them. Like, Israel is tricking Trump to do the absolute worst military strike and operation that there could possibly be. I mean, other than, I don't know, marching into China. I mean, that might be the absolute worst. But other than that, this is the worst. Financially, this is the worst.
A land war in Russia, I think, is
in the
up
winter.
there.
Like,
In
if
the
we wanted
winter.
to like go from Alaska to Russia in January, that might be worse. That might be the only thing worse.
No one has ever succeeded in a land war in Russia, I think, except for the Mongols.
Damn right. Genghis ain't no bitch. Tricking you at the level of, I got you know, for real. And I'm sorry, guys. Like, there is no, oh, come on, Democrats, just get on board. Brother, even all the Republicans are like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Don't do this. Don't do this. Fucking Tucker Carlson, who's a big woke Democrat leftist, he flew to DC and was like, I got to talk Trump out of this. And Trump was like, no, we're good, man. This is going to be like a weekend.
Even the number 2 for Tulsi Gabbard,
yeah,
Kent, I think is his name. The dude is a conspiracy theorist, and he's like, we can't do this.
It's like, it's not us.
Even the crazies
yeah,
are like, we can't be doing this.
Like, dude, we're gonna go. These are war crimes. We can't do this shit.
Look at this in God We Trust. EU and GB going full Sharia law. Well, have fun with that, because there's a lot of those people in the chat, and they're not going to take too kindly to your references there.
Explain what Sharia law is, because I know you've read the Quran. In God We Trust. I know you've read it. You wouldn't just be talking. You wouldn't just be repeating what other people said. You read the book for yourself, correct? You wouldn't just be believing what people said. I mean, did you listen to? I mean, I encourage all of you guys to like watch BBC, watch Al Jazeera, watch Deutsche News, watch news coverage that isn't American and it isn't going through the Israel lobby.
Right.
Like, how many strikes have you guys seen on Israel? Because they've been getting lit the fuck up. And y'all haven't seen no coverage of it.
Mikey, they can't read.
You're right. I keep forgetting that.
You know, Delco Tarot, you know, if he could read that, he'd be very upset right now.
If he knew what that said, be very offended. What's this little girl doing?
Person impersonator says, anyone who thinks Sharia law is going to develop in the EU has a ferret up their rear end.
I mean, but they're literally putting the 10 commandments in schools, but they're like, Sharia law is coming.
Right.
You guys are the Christian side of the Sharia law. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, we have laws upon laws upon laws in this country forbidding Sharia law, even though the Constitution already says the government can't establish a national religion or make laws regarding religion. So
y'all got people going to church on Saturday, just fine.
Right. Going to church on Wednesdays.
What the fuck?
I seen it. They go to church on Wednesdays. Who goes to church on Wednesday?
Yo, them laws don't lie, baby.
Shakira law.
Like, seriously, like they are the fucking Doug Smith or whoever that fucking Hegseth brought up there. He said it himself. They're doing a holy crusade.
The American
You're
Taliban.
part of the American Taliban. You're part of it. If you don't be mad at us, that's what the guys who you're defending, that's what they're saying. They're saying they want to do like a Christian jihad over there. That's what they said. Man,
that the American Taliban brings me back to the Tea Party movement for sure. That's what that's all about. It's only gotten worse since then. I will put this video back up now. There we go.
Happen, but we got to have partners.
Yeah, I understand. But we're not going to agree to this here, but I would just say the ability, the trust is gone, and not just with Democrats. That's why we're here. That's why your predecessor was fired. And
We'll go back to this, but person impersonator says the EU Sharia law thing is a U.S. psyop to stop Americans from visiting other countries and realizing how much better they are than Trump's America. I will wholeheartedly agree to that one, because my favorite country is Ireland, and boy, it is way better in Ireland than it is in fucking America. I don't think there's an aspect. I don't think there's a possible way. There's nothing in America that I would consider better than in the EU or Ireland. By the end of your that's very definite. Whatever, man. You ask the people in the EU. They're in the chat. You ask them. The Scotland, the UK, Ireland, they're in there. You ask them. They live there. They know what it's like.
Meanwhile,
not one thing. Maybe the internet is a little faster in America.
Then move there.
Good. I fucking will.
Brother, Joe Biden was president for 4 years. Why the fuck are you still here? Did you just move back? January last year, did you just move back? Because according to your own logic, your punk ass should have been gone.
You know what? I've been trying. They don't want to take Americans because we're shitty.
Yeah, because we got your fucking stank all over us.
They don't want us.
And I'm sorry, but this is just your veiled bigotry, right? You're just projecting out onto other people your internal like conflict and I just don't like those Muslims and they smell bad and they're gonna kill everybody. Okay, how many Americans died from Iranians? How many Americans died from Israel? I mean, it's right there. The people killing Americans are the same people we're funding. And now they got y'all believing that the other people who haven't killed Americans are the ones that have Americans at risk. Do you know of any missiles that Iran has that can hit the U.S.?
Here we go. This is my America. I'm not a traitor. That's not how you spell the kind of traitor you're talking about. I'm not.
He's not a fucking linguist either.
He's not a merchant. He doesn't trade goods, Mikey.
I'm not a shopkeep.
I'm not a shopkeep. Person impersonator says, please stay in America.
No, he's going to Europe. He's going to Europe with y'all. Oh.
The moment I am able to, I fucking will. This country is terrible.
I'm not and liquor store, what do you think is going to be here for you? You think all of this is in service to you, the taxpayer? You think this has anything to do with you? You think you're going to benefit from any of this?
Right.
All the stolen oil from Venezuela and the fucking, blowing up boats and all this stuff. You think that's in service of you? You think that's going to make your life better? You think we're safer as a country now that Trump's fucking pissed off all of our allies and is just bombing people because he feels like it? Maybe I'll do another one just for fun. You think that serves you?
I mean, I've been to Canada. I've been to Ireland. I've been to a bunch of countries.
I think this is what Epstein was for.
Yes.
because it seems like the PP tape that we all joked about, because the rumors were spreading like in 2015, 16, that there was a Russia PP tape of prostitutes peeing on Trump. And they were like, that's just rumors. That's just, Jeffrey Epstein recorded everything, huh? All these times people went to the island, huh? And now Trump won't fucking tell the truth 2 times in a row about it. And now everybody's covering up for him. So it makes me feel like you're going to attack Iran with us or the PP tape comes out.
Right.
Because
Well,
I don't
I
think
mean,
Russia has it. Because Russia already put out Melania's fucking nudes on the inauguration day. And Trump didn't fucking say a word. On fucking national TV, they put Melania's tits and Punene out on the fucking TV screens in Russia. You can go find the clip. It's blurred now.
I mean, I subscribe to Occam's razor for this. I think that the simplest explanation is Israel's like, hey, we're going to bomb Iran. Are you in or out? And Trump was like, oh, yeah. Are we bombing Iran? I'm in. I don't think that there was any pressure on Trump to do it. I think he just fucking wanted to do it.
That's not true. That's just straight up not true.
What is that in reference to?
That Iranians have killed hundreds of Americans since 1979. That's not true.
I mean, Saudis have killed more Americans.
Hello, but we have great deals with them.
Right. We have a great agreements with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, even though they were the ones that did 9/11. But you all want to fearmonger Iran.
And they're talking about fucking Shakira law. You know, they're so worried about Shakira law. Hey, assholes, where the fuck was Jesus born? In Bethlehem? What country is Bethlehem in? And you guys have been funding it getting blown to fucking smithereens as part of your religious whatever. Okay. I thought Jesus would be mad about, y'all wearing the cross that killed him. He's gonna be even more pissed when he goes back to his home fucking digs and it's blown to fucking smithereens because you guys thought, no, we're helping. Be bad
Yes,
at you.
Jesus does know Shakira.
Yeah, they're Jesus and Shakira, they go way back.
Yeah.
Crazy.
See, Mikey, all you got to do is put a title on your show like the Trump administration is lying to you, and you get all the funnest people.
But they know he's lying. Like, what's his face? Liquor store dude. He knows he's being lied to, but he set it up here. He's already here. The sad part is I'll be dead, but it's my grandchildren and great grandchildren. They'll have to deal with this, man. Hey, asshole, we're your grandkids' age. And you're just over here like, oh, well, you guys don't know anything. Yeah, we're the ones that have to figure this mess out because you will be dead. In 20 years, you'll be fucking gone. Ready? Okay. And speaking of being gone, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go play with
Bye,
the kids.
Mikey. All right. I'm gonna yell at these people.
Bye.
And we're back. Mikey part-time in it today. How dare he?
There needs to be fundamental reform of this law enforcement agency, and I think that the public writ large is crying out for that. Let me turn to elections.
Senator,
let me turn to elections. The Department of Homeland Security has the mandate since the Obama era for securing our election infrastructure. That's an important job, and you'll be secretary. The president has continued to say that he won the 2020 election, even though there's been 60 court cases saying the opposite. He has said he wants to federalize the elections. He has said name check cities, including Detroit. He has said voting machines are inaccurate. He has said in the State of the Union, I was on the Senate floor, paraphrase that if his side doesn't win in November, then the elections were rigged, which is exactly what he said 8 months before the 2020 election. You have your own history. You did not certify the 2020 election. There are people at the Department of Homeland Security, 3 people specifically who are well-known election deniers now running election security functions. Who won the 2020 election?
Ma'am, we know that President Joe Biden was sworn into office. He was the president for the last 4 years.
Who
But
do
I
you
do
believe won
I
the
believe my
election?
job as Department of Homeland Security Secretary.
Oh, wow. I like how the test for these fucking Trump appointees is who won the 2020 election. Come on. Like, and none of them actually answer the question. I think maybe one of them actually answered it honestly. But all they can say is that Joe Biden, well, he was sworn in as president. But they're not going to say that he won because they know that their audience is an audience of one over there. If Donald Trump hears this fucker say that Biden won the 2020 election, he wouldn't be nominated anymore. He'd be withdrawn.
Will be to make sure that we assure that the elections are fair and people.
You know what? I will agree with this. Unfortunately, an independent will never have enough money to get to become president unless they're personally wealthy. And then we got another billionaire president. Like, there's no winning. There's no winning. There's no winning. It's just Democrats and Republicans. And really, it's two sides of the same coin, if we're being honest. The Democrats, they're center right. And hey guys, I'm going to play this video for a minute. I'll be right back.
Can trust them.
Does the federal government run the elections process, or do states?
It's very clear in the Constitution that the states control state elections, and then there is some federal oversight that's on it, but the federal government can set some standards. So if you're talking about the Save American Act, requiring you, which is within the Constitution, by the way, requiring individuals to be citizens of the United States, I don't think it's too much to ask somebody to prove they're a citizen of the United States.
That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about administering the elections. If you are Secretary of Homeland Security, do you feel you have the authority to put uniformed officers at polling locations in 2026?
Ma'am, we said this in your office. The only reason why my officers would be there if there was a specific threat for them to be there, not for intimidation. And
So
I said
even though we didn't need it during World War II, we didn't need it during Vietnam or the War on Terror, we never had to put uniformed military there. Now you feel that there's going to be a reason that there's going to be an armed threat to the United States that you
No,
need
ma'am.
to potentially be there?
I can't sit there and guarantee hypothetically of what threat would be and not. I'm not putting military. That's not within my
Uniformed officers.
But if there is a threat, a specific threat, say it's in a Jewish community, and there is a threat that's specific to that polling area, then we will work with local law enforcement. There'll be a reason for us to be there, and it'll be known why we're there.
I think the reason you're here and not Kristi Noem is because Americans trust their local law enforcement now way more than they trust ICE. So I would just say, if we ever get to the point where you are being asked to put armed ICE officers at polling locations, we have lost the plot as a country. We have fundamentally lost it. And until I hear someone tell me that this man, President Trump, will actually allow us to have a free and fair election, there is zero trust here, and I cannot trust that he won't try and steal it again.
What I miss? Well, we could spend it on other things. That money can be spent on other things. You don't have to just spend it on the military-industrial complex. Oh, here's a good one.
Debate continues in the Senate on the so-called.
It's everyone's favorite show, Paper Shuffling with Mika and Joe, and another crazy rant by old crazy Joe Scarborough.
Called Save America Act. President Trump.
Oh, yes, we're talking about the Save America Act. I know the government doesn't have my imagination. You know, you could spend the money on so many different things instead of just bombs and honestly projects that go no one ever heard of the Bridge to Nowhere? There are so many bridges to nowhere in the military. Money that's spent on fucking nothing. There's no accounting in the Pentagon budget. I don't know the last time the Pentagon budget was audited, but every time they're like, oh, we're missing $400 billion or whatever. Like, they don't know where the money goes. They have no idea. It's all fucking waste, fraud, and abuse. If you want to go after waste, fraud, and abuse, the first place to start is Pete Hegseth's Pentagon. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
Trump and Republicans claim the bill will fight alleged voter fraud by non-citizens. The president has even said he will not sign any other legislation into law until it is passed. Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia yesterday called out the president and his administration on this.
It was a cabinet official in the White House herself who said that we just want to make sure that, quote, the right people are voting. The right people. The right people are voting.
What's up,
That was
Holly?
the argument in the 1960s. And had those who wanted to make sure that the, quote, right people were voting, had they prevailed, I would not be standing here today. We know that this will disenfranchise thousands, if not millions, of Americans. We have no evidence that this is a problem that actually needs to be solved, and yet they have shut down much of the business of the Senate in order to do this. They are hell-bent on getting this done. Donald Trump said that this is his #1 priority, and so it begs the question, why is this his #1 priority? With all the things going on in our country, why is this the main thing that he feels he must get done? Why is he afraid? I'll tell you why. It's because that he knows that he has broken every promise he made.
I mean, this is very obvious. You know what they'll say is, oh, well, everybody supports voter right. Yeah. Bring your driver's license. I think that's a great idea. Bring your driver's license or another ID, photo ID. And by the way, this is a wonderful opportunity for the federal government or for the state governments, not even the federal government, state governments, to provide that from the voter's office. If they want an ID, it's a great way for people that don't have picture IDs.
And by the way, most states already have some form of voter ID law. Most states. Even the state I live in, Connecticut, has voter ID laws. You have to show your driver's license or a state ID so that they can confirm you are who you say you are.
Get picture IDs. But here's the crazy thing. I mean, Republicans want to take over states' constitutionally protected position in voting. Now, they want to do the same for IDs. Again, let me say this again. Republicans, they don't even allow your driver's license to be used.
That's right. The SAVE Act would not allow your driver's license to be used as a form of ID. You would need a passport or a birth certificate.
As a way to be able to vote for your mayor, for your county commissioners.
Yeah, state and local elections too, guys. We're not just
Senators,
talking about presidential.
House members, governors, presidents. I mean, you talk about standing, not in the courthouse door, standing like in front of a voting booth, doing everything you can do to ensure that your unpopular party can somehow figure out a way to win in the fall. It's not going to work. It's absolutely outrageous. The requirements are outrageous. They're trying to kill the ability for vets who may have been injured in war and may not be able to not be able to vote by mail. They're trying to do everything they can do to stop older Americans who may not be able to go down on election day because of the physical problems to not vote. The workers who travel. I can't tell you how many times I was traveling on business on election days.
The real ID is not going to count for the SAVE Act. It's not. It's a passport or a birth certificate. The real ID is not going to count. Look up the law. Real ID is just for traveling domestically.
Just like millions and millions and millions of Americans do on election day. And they're trying to get everybody to re-register. Is this a joke? Is this a joke that 51 senators actually supported to debate? Are you
Joe
kidding?
Scarborough is so fucking ridiculous.
It's a horrible idea. conservatives like me, and I know there aren't many left, who are small government conservatives.
Once again, real ID does not prove citizenship. That's what they want. It doesn't have anything to do with the state-issued photo ID. It's a passport or a birth certificate. That's what they want. Look up the SAVE Act. It's in there.
Who actually fought to balance a budget 4 years in a row and did it? Who actually fought to push back every way we could on Russian aggression and imperialism, and we did it? Conservatives like me don't like poll taxes. You know who else doesn't? The Wall Street Journal editorial page, Republicans. The Wall Street Journal editorial page. They've got a new piece out today saying why the Save America Act won't. And it reads in part this. Mr. Trump now wants to expand the Save America Act. One of his ideas is to countermand dozens of state laws on mail voting by stopping such ballots to people who are sick, disabled, serving in the military. Let me say that again. I had to fight in 2000 to make sure that every military ballot was counted in that race. Because people were trying to disenfranchise men and women in uniform. Now, that's what this act does. It disenfranchises members.
Hey, we watch Morning Joe for the funsies. Joe Scarborough is a fucking maniac. All right? But, I mean, the information on the SAVE Act is correct. We call it, by the way, we call it paper shuffling with Mika and Joe because they never stop shuffling those fucking papers in front of the microphones.
Of our military are those, as I said, who actually work and are traveling.
Also, bro, look up the SAVE Act. If you don't have a passport or a birth certificate, you will not be allowed to vote under the SAVE Act. It has nothing to do with the real ID or your driver's license or whatever. They don't want people to vote, so they're going to make it expensive to vote.
As an election policy, this has a real upside. Yet, many GOP states.
Also, this is from the Wall Street Journal, that liberal rag, the Wall Street Journal. Yeah?
Let anyone vote absentee. Republicans, do they really want to endorse having the federal government over?
I like Papa Smurf here because they're like, oh, corporate media and rhetoric and all that. Yeah, we all know. We all fucking know, bro. We all fucking know. All right? What do you watch? OAN? Huh? The Seidel News Network or whatever it is, the My Pillow guy? Is that the one you watch? You fucking rube?
Overrule the election laws in Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin, Ohio.
Yeah, by the way, this is not just fucking blue states that are going to get SAVE Acted over here. It's all the states. They're trying to federalize elections, which is, again, the Constitution. You can't do that because it's a power granted to the states to run the elections. It's the 10th Amendment. I can't wait until all this stuff goes through the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court says you can't do that because, one, it's a poll tax, and two, it goes against the 10th Amendment.
Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Kansas, and more? Those aren't blue states, folks.
Then, brother, what are you? Are you gonna? Let me guess. You're independent. Are you unaffiliated? What party are you registered with? Is it a party, or are you just like libertarian? What is it? Tell me. Prove me wrong,
folks. Although Mr. Trump insists that voter fraud is endemic, his big claims aren't backed by hard evidence. By the way, it's not backed by any evidence. I remember reading a Wall Street Journal editorial page a decade ago saying the same thing. That this bullshit about voter fraud is so overblown.
And yes, Joe is
not
ranting again.
real. And by the way, not saying it, and the Wall Street Journal is not saying it now because history began on January 20th.
Yeah, but you're not saying what you are. And I didn't say you were a Republican. That's a political party. I said that you were a fucking rube. So there's no logical fallacy here. Tell me what is your political ideology? I don't care what your political party is. Political parties are meaningless. If you think that Republicans are conservative, then you're wrong. Not these Republicans. These Republicans are right-wing extremists. Fucking, you want to rant and rave about Joe Scarborough? Joe Scarborough is a conservative. But he seems liberal now because of how far right the party has gone. So you're still not you're not even answering the question. You're not even answering the question, Papa Smurf. What is your political ideology? And if I'm so wrong, it shouldn't be that hard to answer. What is it? You know what? I would love to know. As you can see, I'm a political scientist, so I study this. I don't care if you're affiliated with a party. I really don't. The parties are meaningless. They're all the same, really. The mainstream American political parties are the fucking same. But what's your ideology? What do you believe in? What's your political philosophy? Here we got Mr. Good Citizen says, I believe that the founders believed, as far as government goes, this country was literally founded on hatred of government. And I'm just continuing the American tradition. That's an interesting one. That's certainly very much, anti-federalist. I don't think the founders were anti-government. Some of them were anti-federal government for sure. I think some wanted more power to the states. That's what happened with the Articles of Confederation. The states had more power than the federal government, but that didn't work. So they did the Constitution, which is just a collection of compromises, really. It's just a collection of compromises. Everyone's like, okay, the first time didn't work out. Let's try this. Yeah, Papa Smurf isn't fucking answering the question. Okay, Papa Smurf. There's no false premise here. I just really wanted to know. I was genuinely interested. But now you're the one being obstructive. So guess what? I don't care anymore. I was willing to have a conversation, but you continue to be a fucking rube.
$2025. It did not. We were saying this a decade ago when Donald Trump wasn't even in politics. This is a political party creating a crisis that does not exist because they know that they're historically behind in the polls. They know if voters are allowed to freely vote, Republicans are going to lose. They know that. And they know it big. You know when you're going to get wiped out. I had a friend that wanted to run as a Republican in 2006. I said, buddy, I don't care if you're Abraham Lincoln, you're going to lose. Don't run. Because it was bleak. It's that bleak for Republicans now. So why do they don't want to change the policies. They want to change the law. They want to stop you from voting. They want to stop men and women in the military from voting. They want to stop the elderly from voting. This is what the Wall Street
Government does
Journal
create a lot of
editorial page
problems.
says.
That is
If
true.
I'm making you mad,
Not gonna lie.
take it out on me. Take it out on the Wall Street Journal editorial page. Those libs, those commies, those leftists. They continue. The Safe America Act wouldn't turn blue states red, and it can't save Republicans from voter anger at unpopular policies. In the MAGA era, the bill actually, just like that stupid redistricting in Texas, Wall Street Journal says this could actually hurt the GOP. Kamala Harris in 2024 won college graduates and voters earning over $100,000 a year. Mr. Trump carried those with no degrees and low salaries. Which coalition is most likely not to have passports and birth certificates handy?
So, despite Joe's dramatic reenactment of this excerpt from the Wall Street Journal article, it makes a good point. Which coalition is most likely to have passports and birth certificates handy? Is it Trump voters? Or is it non-Trump voters? Is it non-conservatives? I'll even go as far as say unaffiliateds and independents. But the MAGA base have passports? They have money for passports and birth certificates handy? I mean, I travel, I got a passport. But if you don't travel outside the country, what do you need a passport for? Mikey and I were talking about this on Tuesday. If they want to do this, if they want to do this SAVE Act, and you have to prove citizenship to vote, then give everyone a free ID card, a voter card, whatever. But it has to be free. If it costs even a penny, it's a poll tax. And the Supreme Court, no matter who's on the Supreme Court, will see it as such. I don't know the percentage. Are you talking about American college students, like colleges in America? I don't know the percentage. I'm not gonna fumble around with that. I'm sure it's pretty high that are American citizens. I mean, at least in the colleges I've gone to, most were American citizens. But I'm not gonna claim to know the actual statistics because I'm not a grifter. All right, what is next? We already did that. Well, we got some on here.
Around this time last year, we were telling you almost
away from national news now to more local news coverage, I think. But this was added by Mikey, so I have no idea the context for this video.
Nightly about Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency canceling projects all across Colorado and the funding for them. A lot of organizations were shocked to lose that funding and said they were never given a specific reason why. Now, new court documents show a lot of those decisions were made by artificial intelligence. Spencer Schweitzer has more.
The time is 10:44, and we're now back on the record.
Have you ever sat in your boss's office as they told you about a decision and thought, man, whose idea was that?
Welcome back, Mr. Kavanaugh.
It was these so-called DOGE bros in Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency reviewing millions in federal grants last year. Or actually, it was ChatGPT.
We didn't know who the individuals,
we watched this already.
the entity.
My bad. We watched this already. We watched this on Tuesday. If you want to see this video, it's on Tuesday. Is there anything that we didn't watch? We watched that. All right. Everyone give me 1 second. There we go. I'm going to go find a video that we haven't watched. And we'll take a quick break to say like and subscribe. There we go. Like and subscribe to the channel if you like what's going on here. There have been some hearings today. Maybe we'll go into one of those hearings. Here we go. Oh. Here we go. There was also Tulsi Gabbard was in hearings today, so we'll go through some of that. Jim Himes, ranking member of, I believe, the Intelligence Committee. I don't know which committee, but I think it's Intelligence. I think he's on the Intelligence Committee.
Director Gabbard, as was well covered yesterday in January, you were present at the execution of an FBI warrant at the Fulton County, Georgia election office at the direction.
So I love the idea. I love the idea of starting a GoFundMe for a good independent candidate. However, that would violate campaign finance law. And I know that like everyone does all that. Everyone does all that violation of campaign finance law stuff anyway. But you know, there's like specific forms you got to fill out and all that stuff. Like everyone who contributes has to fill out a form. If you ever contribute to a political candidate, you know that there's like a contribution form that you have to fill out to prove that you are who you are and all that stuff. And because foreign nationals are not allowed to contribute to our campaigns technically, and all this stuff. I mean, dark money is everywhere, soft money is everywhere. But I think GoFundMe, unless it's under $1,000, I think you can do a GoFundMe for under $1,000. Other than that, it's kind of violates campaign finance law. And not that the FEC ever fucking does anything about it, because it's been crippled at this point. But a reasonable idea, like crowdfunding for campaigns, yes, reasonable idea. Just slightly illegal.
To the president and to all appearances in connection with the president's false claims about the 2020 election. The unsealed affidavit submitted by the FBI made zero reference to foreign powers or outside interference.
Yes, and GoFundMe is considered like a charity thing. Like it's you know it's legally defined as, because you're not filling out the proper forms if you do it through GoFundMe. And if you take in all that money yourself, like say you do a GoFundMe, you raise $100,000 or whatever, and you take in all that money yourself and then contribute that to your campaign, if they ever investigate it at all, you'll end up with a fine or in jail, because they'll see that you got that money from GoFundMe and you subverted campaign finance law. Once again, there's a lot of ifs there, because the FEC doesn't really have the enforcement powers that they should. And election enforcement, at least campaign finance wise, isn't what it should be. So there's a lot of ifs and shoulds, but technically it's illegal. Yeah. No, I get that, you know, Trump's campaign money came from like outside sources and all that, but it's all funneled through political action committees and dark money groups. Funneling it through GoFundMe would just, it's obvious and illegal. That's all. The problem is that's obvious. And these dark money groups and political action committees are all sort of under the radar. So, and of course, you know, individuals can contribute money to Limitless. That's why Elon Musk gave him what, $150 million or whatever. Like Elon Musk is the single largest contributor to a campaign ever. And nothing stops billionaires from just giving them money. But if someone does crowdfunding, that's illegal. Our campaign finance system is fucked up. It just is. There's no way around how fucked up it is. And there's like 5 or 6 Supreme Court rulings that make it fucked up. It's not just Citizens United. But, you know, we'd have to get rid of at least 3 or 4 decades of Supreme Court precedent at this point to fix it. So lobbying is a problem. It is. And this country needs, along with many other things, serious campaign finance reform. That is my field of study as a political scientist, is campaign finance reform. So that's how I am an authority on that. That's how I know GoFundMe wouldn't work. But if you have like $1 billion you just want to give someone, you could, as long as you're an individual contributor or a super PAC. $5 super chat from Tons of Mice. Tim's hat for Congress 2026. $5 isn't quite enough. Yeah, repeal Citizens United for sure. Allie, a member for 10 months. Go Allie. We got, hold on. I didn't even do tons of mice sound effect, but this one's for Allie. Running the soundboard by myself is hard.
My time. Thank you.
Oh, wait.
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
And this is for tons of mice.
Tell me about it.
So, you know, it is fucking crazy out there in the campaign finance world. It's the wild, wild west, really. In certain states like Connecticut, Maine, Arizona, Florida has some decent laws where you can publicly finance campaigns. Some are matching funds, some are public grants that campaigns get at the state level. You can't do it at the federal level. There is, and it's not nearly enough money, but there is a public financing option for presidential candidates you have to qualify for. And they were using it, I want to say, up until 2004, 2008. But it became not enough money. So presidential candidates raised their own money. But it's still there for anyone who wants it. I think it's up to like $20 million for president. I don't know what it actually is, but in a reasonable world where we didn't have 2-year-long election cycles, it would be a reasonable amount of money to run a campaign on. But 2024, I believe $15 billion was spent. So 20 million is not even going to be a drop in the bucket.
I don't want to read.
5 British pound super chat. Any chance you could co-host the 2 Davies show, as it would be great to see things from the USA point of view, but it's early mornings for you guys. Allie, get me the info. Maybe. How early in the morning is it? And it depends on the day of the week, really. I can be up early in the morning, but it really depends on the day of the week because I got JOBs. Nah, you got to have $1 billion just to show up. You got to have $1 billion to be in the running. You got to have $5 billion to win. That's what it's like out there right now. $1 billion gets you in the door. You survive the primaries with $1 billion. But if you want to win the presidency, you got to have a lot. Like, for example, the Biden-Harris campaign raised $1.5 billion and spent it, I assume. Who knows? But, you know, and that's just their campaign. That doesn't include super PACs. It doesn't include dark money. It doesn't include soft money. It doesn't include individual expenditures by outside organizations. You know, combined, I think the Democratic Party for that election spent $5 billion with all the PACs, all the leadership organizations, the DCCC, the DNC, all of it. I think it was around $5 billion for the Democrats, and close to that for the Republicans too. Like, they spend a lot of money, and that probably includes all the down ballot races too, which are getting more expensive as time goes on. I think a Senate campaign is like $100 million at this point, and that's for one state. It's a crazy amount of money. It's 4 p.m. UK time on a Monday. Thursday morning show is at 10 a.m. UK time. I can do the 4 p.m. on a Monday UK time because that's only like 11 or 12 for me, but I'll have to double check because I think I am working. We'll see. I might be able to, we'll talk, Allie. I might be able to do it in the summer, but not now.
Litigate the reasons why you were there, but I do want to know whether, as a result of your visit, there is credible intelligence in your possession pointing to foreign interference in Georgia in the 2020 election.
Thank you for the question, Ranking Member.
As you know, over each of the previous elections, there is an ongoing effort by different foreign entities.
Ma'am, it's a
to
very
try to
specific question.
interfere in our
Is there
elections.
intelligence in your possession relative to foreign interference in the 2020 elections? Very simple, straightforward question.
Senator.
We are continuing to look at previous attempts to interfere in our elections and any ongoing threats that may exist for the upcoming elections.
Okay, but can I assume that the answer to my question is no, that you have no specific intelligence related to foreign meddling in the Georgia election?
We are continuing to look into this matter.
Okay. Director, the ODNI has confirmed on the record that your office took custody of voting machines from Puerto Rico last May. I'm not aware of any previous DNI taking similar actions. Did your office promptly notify the committee about taking custody of Puerto Rico's voting machines?
I don't believe we did. However, this was done at the request of the Puerto Rico AUSA attorney.
Ma'am, it's a
and in
yes or no
conjunction
question.
with
The answer,
FBI.
as you have acknowledged, is no. You did not inform the committee about the taking of a territory's voting machines. Is there a specific foreign threat? And I've read the reporting that you were looking for possible foreign threats, but is there a specific foreign threat that drove you to take this
Is she a bot?
action?
There were
Oh, I
questions.
didn't get the
Is there a
question.
specific foreign threat that drove you to take this action?
There were questions about whether or not there were vulnerabilities that a threat could have taken advantage of, and that was the purpose for their requesting us to look into those vulnerabilities.
Where are those voting machines now?
I believe they are held in a secure facility at ODNI.
Have you or other ODNI officials taken any other state or territory's voting equipment into custody?
Not to my knowledge.
Support journalism you trust.
Oh, that was
Support
it.
PBS News.
Support PBS.
I don't believe we did. However, this was done at the request of the Puerto Rico AUSA attorney.
Ma'am, it's a
and in
yes or no
conjunction with
question. The answer,
FBI.
as you have acknowledged, is no. You did
Puerto
not inform
Rico's-
the committee about the
Took
take.
some voting machines from Puerto Rico? That's not good for them. That's not good for them. Here, I got more Tulsi Gabbard and Cash Pineapple.
Mr. Crow.
Thank you, Chairman. Director Gabbard, it is your job and the job of your agency and department to assess the views of Iranian leadership, their policy beliefs, and policy positions, correct?
Yes.
That includes now deceased Ali Khamenei of Iran, correct?
Yes.
And the now leader, his son Mujtaba Khamenei, correct?
Yes.
The son is considered more of a hardliner than his father. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
So hardline that even some of Iran's leaders thought he was too aggressive. Isn't that correct?
That is the intelligence community assessment. Yes.
Mujtaba, the son, is particularly close to the brutal Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and their most hardline commanders, correct?
That is the intelligence community assessment.
He was involved in ordering violent crackdowns on Iranian protesters, including their murder, correct?
Yes.
And we don't know if the son will continue his father's religious ban on developing nuclear weapons. Is that correct?
It is unknown at this time.
You testified before this committee last year that the elder, now deceased Khamenei, had in 2003 banned the nuclear weapons program or suspended it, correct?
There was a fatwa in place that stated that.
And that fatwa remained in place last year when you testified before this committee, correct?
Yes.
And that fatwa remained in place recently, correct?
Breaking news from Chris C. Trump confirms he will ask Congress for, wow, my brain is going. Trump confirms that he will ask Congress for $200 billion to fund the war in Iran, calling it a small price to pay. Managed to find $200 billion for a war, but not universal health care. Yeah. $200 billion. And that's, Pete Hegseth said the same thing earlier today in a press conference. $200 billion, an additional $200 billion to the trillion plus the Pentagon already has for military spending this year. Our deficit is going to be through the fucking roof. And they don't care. They're spending money at a record pace. They did it last year. They spent money at a record pace last year. And they don't care. None of them care. Tulsi Gabbard doesn't care. Trump doesn't care. Pete Hegseth doesn't care. They are bankrupting this country with unproductive wars that we're not going to get. What are we going to get out of this? Nothing. Nothing. The same thing that we got for fucking going to war in Iraq or Afghanistan. You know, these wars are misplaced and they're costly. We already have $40 trillion in debt, national debt. And Trump's going to add another, what, $2 trillion this year?
As far as I know, it has not been lifted.
Yeah, you're aware of no information that would lift that fatwa.
I'm not aware of any intelligence reporting that states that. To be clear on the Mojtaba, the son who has been named to replace him, it is unclear of his status or his involvement. He was injured very severely through one of the Israeli strikes. And so the decision making is unclear about what's happening in the Iranian leadership.
So it's unclear. So we're less certain of the positions of Iranian leadership and their intentions than we were 60 days ago, correct?
That's an accurate assessment.
Jesus.
One of your jobs is to create products assessing Iran and the threats it poses to the United States, correct?
Yes.
And that includes potential outcomes for military action, correct?
It includes potential outcomes of a variety of scenarios.
Like in the likelihood of those outcomes.
Yes.
Generally, when you make assessments about threats facing the United States, you will look at, in Iran, in any instance, the likely scenarios that have come out of military action, correct?
The intelligence community takes all of those factors into account when they create these assessments.
When you look at the threats posed by foreign countries, you also assess timelines to those threats, correct?
What do you mean by timelines?
Like a breakout time, for example, for nuclear weapons or the development of ballistic missiles.
Yes, based on the information available at any given time.
In the timeline also for potential terrorist attacks, correct?
Broadly, yes,
It
assesses
is common
all matters
practice
available
for the IC to assess the timeline of all threats. Nuclear weapons development, ballistic, right?
Yes.
Ballistic weapons development.
Based on the information available, yes.
Terrorist attacks.
Same applies.
Cyber attacks. Timelines for...
Wait, breaking news from Chris C. Trump was asked why he didn't inform Japan about the strikes in Iran, and he replied, "We wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor?" Did he really say that? Can we get a clip for that? I'm gonna look for a clip. That's fucking crazy, man. Trump just fucking, he's insane. He's an insane person. We let the craziest person that we could find run our government. Like fucking hell, man.
For all of those, correct?
When there is information available that point to that, yes.
In likelihood, as well as the timeline, correct?
Based on the information available.
Timing is important, is it not?
It is an important factor that goes into the assessment.
So it is your position sitting here today that you made no timeline determination as to threats that Iran had facing the United States, correct?
That's a very broad statement, but where the information is available, the intelligence community factors that into their assessment process.
Did you or the IC make any assessments as to the timing of potential threats facing the United States from Iran in the last 90 days?
I'm sure there was timelines factored into the intelligence assessments that were delivered.
Did any of them show imminence?
The imminent nature of a threat is determined by the president based on a totality of the intelligence and information provided to him.
Did any of them show that there were attacks anticipated within the next?
Okay. This is a clip we got from Chris C here.
Of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends. But one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan?
Oh my
Okay?
God.
Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay.
Oh my God. That's got to be so embarrassing. Oh my God. If Trump knew how to feel shame, he would. That's so bad. Look at how uncomfortable the Japanese prime minister is. He said, yeah, right. He actually said it in front of the Japanese prime minister, who, by the way, when the first time they met, she gave him like a golden golf club and a golden golf ball and tried to make like appease him. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we
Oh my
went in
God.
very hard and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay. Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay. Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50% of what we, and much.
Oh my God. He's so dumb. Is this what you voted for? This dumb motherfucker? Is this what you voted for? MAGA? This guy? He's so fucking dumb. He's so dumb. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable that he would say that to the Japanese prime minister. No, the Japanese should know all about surprise. You guys did Pearl Harbor, right? Nobody told us. Fucking he's the dumb motherfucker that we elected to be president. Why do I think it's dumb? Why do I think it's dumb? Because it's not something you say. The Japanese have been suffering with the repercussions of World War II for quite some time. And that's not something you say to the Japanese prime minister and want to have a good relationship with the Japanese prime minister. He has no idea how to talk to real people. He has no idea. He talks to fucking Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, who are fucking clowns, but he has no idea what diplomacy is or how to act like a statesman. He has no idea how to be a real fucking person anymore. His brain is so fucking melted in his head. Anything else would have been a good response. Why didn't you? Because the question was, why didn't you tell Japan that you were going to bomb Iran? And he said, we wanted it to be a surprise, just like Pearl Harbor. Isn't that the worst response that you can think of? Like, it's bad. He's bad at this. He's bad at being president. He's bad at it. He didn't tell anyone he was going to do this, except for Israel, who goaded him into it. Anyway, back to the Tulsi Gabbard line about shit.
Next 90 days from Iran.
It's too simplistic of a statement to say that because it depends on it's a very broad statement, but where the information is available, the intelligence community factors that into their assessment process.
Did you or the IC make any assessments as to the timing of potential threats facing the United States from Iran in the last 90 days?
I'm sure there was timelines factored into the intelligence assessments that were delivered.
Did any of them show imminence?
The imminent nature of a threat is determined by the president based on a totality of the intelligence and information provided to
It
him.
didn't even show that there were attacks anticipated within the next.
I know, that room is so fucking gaudy now. Boy, he turned the Oval Office into some cheap shit, man. It's not even real gold. It's painted. You can find the fucking pieces that are in there in like fucking Amazon or whatever.
90 days from Iran.
It's too simplistic of a statement to say that because it depends on various scenarios occurring or not occurring.
Did those assessments show timelines for the threats that Iran posed to the United States?
The totality of threats, yes, there were timelines involved.
From Chris C. Here's a history lesson. The Japanese did inform the U.S. on the day they attacked Pearl Harbor. In fact, the U.S. already knew about the plans and allowed it to happen anyway. Trump didn't tell nobody. He didn't even, he told what, like a handful of people in the Senate that they were going to bomb Iran because he was legally obligated to do so. And they only tried to get him like once or whatever.
Right now, another member of Jeffrey Epstein's inner circle, his personal lawyer, Darren Indyke, is being questioned behind closed doors from members of the House Oversight Committee. Indyke was instrumental in creating Epstein's complex web of businesses, trusts, properties, and legal teams, and is still the co-executor of his estate. Today's deposition comes less than 24 hours after Democrats stormed out of a last-minute closed-door briefing with Attorney General Pam Bondi. They believe she only came in yesterday to get out of testifying under oath at a later date.
It was clear from the minute it started that the Attorney General is trying to evade and not attend the mandated subpoena that is put in place. We asked her that question. Multiple members asked her the question. She would not respond.
MS Now's Ali Vitale is on Capitol Hill for us. And Ali, I understand you have one of the lawmakers who was just inside that deposition with Epstein's lawyer.
That is exactly right, because the deposition is ongoing, but I was able to get Congresswoman Ansari to come out and talk with us a little bit about what you've heard over the course of the last few hours. It sounds like he's answering questions, but there's an interesting dynamic that you and I were just talking about when it comes to this trio of people, Les Wexner, Darren Indyke, and Richard Kahn, who really made up the inner circle for Epstein. And yet, when it comes to answering questions about it, they're downplaying their role.
Exactly. I think I can't get into the details of what he's saying, but, you know, this is somebody who served as Jeffrey Epstein's main attorney for years and years and years. The impression that he's giving off is very much that he's just a guy. He was, you know, just the family attorney, took care of some things. But of course, we know that he received tens of millions of dollars over the course of the years that he worked for Mr. Epstein, that he is, you know, co-executor of the estate, so has access to all of the information. We've been asking questions related to, you know, his knowledge of allegations, when he became aware, and why he did not choose to cut off his relationship with Mr. Epstein. He claims that he did not know anything until the allegations came to light. And I think it's just a theme across these individuals, whether it's Les Wexner, who was a client who gave Epstein upward of $1 billion potentially, Richard Kahn, and then Darren Indyke. These were his inner circle, right? And so to even try to pretend like you did not have a solid understanding of what was going on and to not take accountability for your role in it, to me, is very problematic.
And even at the start of the hearing, in both a statement and an opening statement, he once again said that both he and Kahn, Indyke and Kahn, their lawyers, saying that they were not involved or aware of Epstein's crimes. I think the other piece of this equation that we're following today is what happened last night with Democrats storming out of the Bondi briefing. And importantly, I asked Chairman Comer today about the concern that some have that they're going to try to use this briefing as a pretense to say, well, that's basically the deposition that we subpoenaed her for. Interestingly, Comer told me this morning he agreed that the briefing is different than a deposition that you would do for a subpoena. So that feels important. But how do you ensure that this subpoena is ultimately enforced?
I think we have to hold their feet to the fire. When there were negotiations between the majority, so Representative Comer and the Clintons, they immediately went to wanting a vote to hold the Clintons in criminal contempt for negotiating. We heard very clearly from Attorney General Pam Bondi tonight that my impression is she intends to negotiate the terms of her deposition. She was asked over and over and over again. No, it's not abnormal, but she was asked over and over again if she intends to come. She couldn't give a simple yes answer to that question. And then when Chairman Comer was asked about whether or not he would ensure that this happens, he would not give a straight answer to that question. I think they have seen the response to that from last night. And so I'm glad that he said to you, he will ensure that she comes forward, but that's not what he said last night.
I don't know that he ensured she would come forward, but I think notably saying the tune seemed to at least change, that they can't use the fact that she came in yesterday for a briefing as an excuse to say that she's already done a deposition, because that is, of course, different. Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari of Arizona, thank you so much for coming out. I know it's still ongoing, so we'll let you get back in there, but thank you for coming and giving us this update. We appreciate it. And Chris, I think, again, it goes to show that this is very much a live ball here in terms of this deposition, but then also the fact that there are multiple other depositions throughout the calendar from now all the way scheduled through May. And one of the key ones that we're still waiting for a date for, yes, when Pam Bondi comes in, if she ends up complying with the subpoena. But then also you got to keep in mind, the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, also said that he volunteered to come before this committee. We don't know what day that is happening on, but certainly a lot of interest in that deposition and testimony as well.
I heard you ask that question to another member of Congress on way too early this morning, so we'll wait to see what that date is indeed.
Sorry, I had to take a phone call.
Thank you.
All right, I got one more video, guys, and then I'm out of here.
The national average up another 4 cents to $3.88 a gallon. My 8s are very bad there. That, of course, the price of gas. This is diesel right there, which is even more expensive. But it gets to the prices that we're paying for everything, the cost of living and the potential political impact. With us now, CNN chief.
Hey, everyone. I guess in an hour? Is this in an hour or 2 hours? I don't know where the daylight savings time is, but go and watch the roundtable, Reagan Elite, 8 p.m. UK time. Here, I'll put up I got a banner for this. There we go. Banner's up. I won't be able to watch it because I got to go and do some stuff. Yeah, 2 hours from now. But go and watch Reagan Elite. Follow Reagan Elite's channel at Reagan Elite on YouTube. Sponsor the show, friend of the show.
Data analyst Harry Etten. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So the president, how do voters see him on the issue of the cost of living and prices, and how does it compare to, say, when he was elected?
You know, I would say that this is the most troublesome sign that I have seen for the president of the United States and the Republican Party so far. What are we talking about? Well, let's take a look here. Voters on Trump and the cost of living. You go back when he was reelected back in October of 2024, he was beating Kamala Harris by 3 points on the cost of living, right? Look at his net approval rating now. Woo! Down underwater we go. His net approval.
That's
approval rating. He was beating Kamala Harris by 3 points on the cost of living, right? Look at his net approval. He was beating Kamala Harris by 3 points on the cost of living, right? Look at his net approval
man, I can't
rating
record
now.
it.
Woo! Down underwater.
I'll have to get that later.
His net approval at a record low, 41 points below water. You can't win when you're at 41 points below water on the cost of living. Kamala Harris couldn't win. The Democratic Party couldn't win. And I'm here to tell you that there's a better chance that I root for the New York Yankees than Donald Trump and the Republican Party winning when he's 41 points below water.
This was March 12th to March 16th. We could see even more, gas prices rise and prices go up in the coming days and weeks with the Iran war. So this number could get even worse. What about independence?
Yeah, what about independence? You think this 41 points below water is bad? Take a look at independence. It's even worse. I mean, 60 points underwater when it comes to Trump and the cost of living among independents. Again, a record low. You go back to October of 2024. He was winning on this issue over Kamala Harris by 11 points. Look at that switcheroo. That is a 71-point switcheroo in the wrong direction for Donald Trump when we're coming to the cost of living and independence. And this, my dear friends, is just a political nightmare waiting to happen for the Republican Party come the midterm election.
I mean, why? Do people really care about the cost of living?
Yes, they do, Mr. Berman. They do care about the cost of living. Why was Donald Trump reelected back in 2024. It was the cost
it
of
was-
living.
it was
It
all
was the
cost of
number
living.
one issue. Okay, number one issue, top election issue, cost of living. 38% of Americans said it was so back in October of 2024. Look now, it's the same percentage. If anything, it's a point higher. So back in October of 2024. Look now, it's the same percentage. If anything, it's a point higher, though it's within the margin of error. 39%. Simply put, I am saying this loud and proud. You cannot win an election when you are the incumbent party and the top issue is the cost of living and you're the president of the United States and your net approval rating on it is 41 points underwater. I mean, you're with Greg Louganis at this point, and I'm with
This guy is so New York, it's ridiculous.
Independent 60 points underwater. What are you kidding me?
What are you kidding me?
Greg Louganis at this point, and
Greg
I'm with
Louganis at
Independent
this point
60
is
points
so
underwater. What are you
ridiculous.
kidding me? You cannot win. If
I'm
you're the
walking
president
here.
and you're the Republican Party and you're not addressing this issue, wave adios amigos.
Oh man, I gotta get
You
him.
cannot
Hold
win.
on.
If you're the president and you're the Republican Party and you're not addressing this issue, wave
Print screen. Yeah. Got him.
adios amigos. Goodbye. See you later. Your House majority and may very well be your Senate majority as well.
You're saying it loud, which is very unusual for you.
I know.
Harry.
It's extremely unusual. A lot of coffee this morning.
Let's talk about inflation and what the
A lot of
prediction
coffee.
markets are saying, what direction they see it going forward.
Yeah, okay. You talk about 60 points underwater. You talk about 41 points underwater. Oh,
Okay. All right. So, question in the chat from Scott: what does minus 60 points translate to? I never quite understood it. So when we look at this right here, when they're talking about what his net approval minus 41 points means, that his net approval is like 19% on it. So it's consider the baseline for it to be 50% net approval. That's 0. So above 50% approval is you are plus points. More than 50% of people approve. Under 50% approval, you're minus points. So I think I said 19. It's actually 9. Is he at a 9-point net approval on the cost of living? According to who? YouGov Yahoo? That's fucking crazy. So if he's negative 41 points, that means he's at 9% net approval. If when he was plus 3 points, he was at 53% net approval. Yeah, 9 points is so crazy. Ah, man, he's doing so bad. Yeah, I can never believe anyone is surprised by all this. You know, there was a little video clip. I think they played it on the Daily Show last night, but there was like a local news thing where I think it was in Jersey, and they interviewed a lady in New Jersey at the gas pump, and she's like, "Trump, you're a piece of shit." And he was like, "Did you vote for Trump?" And she's like, "Yeah, 3 times. Apparently, I'm a fucking idiot." Like, that's what do you expect?
overall. You know, when we're talking about what the prediction markets, Kalshi prediction markets have, Chance March's CPI year over year is above February's 2.4%. It's going in the wrong direction. 95% chance that inflation rises in the month of March. So you got the number one issue that is killing the incumbent party, killing the president right now, and it is going in the wrong direction with gas prices going higher. Just, you know, I'm just going to lay back on my Yiddish. Oy vey. Oy vey.
Yeah, no, the political cost of this could be going up soon. Harriet, and thank you very much for this.
We are tracking rising gas prices amid the war with Iran. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance
goes into
addressed the
another
climbing
video?
costs
All
during
right.
an appearance in Michigan on Wednesday.
The president said this, and I certainly agree with it. This is a temporary blip. Okay, what happened under the Biden administration is the gas price.
That is a lie. Hold on. There's a button for this. Hold on. There's a button for this.
No, the lie detector determined that was a lie.
And here's why. People don't know how the oil markets work. But when we're talking about the price of oil, like let's say light sweet crude or Brent or whatever, in the stock market, it is a contract for the next month's oil. It's not like oil today. The reason why gas prices go up is because they are assuming what the price is going to be for the next month based on what the current price of oil is. But when they're setting prices for oil and gasoline, it is a contract for the next month. This is not a temporary thing. This is going to be months of this. They're predicting that oil and gas aren't going to go down for at least a year. Like, the vice president couchfucker over here is lying. It's not even close to being temporary. This is going to be around. This is going to be around for years. Oil prices are not going to come back down until 2027. And gas, good fucking luck, because the oil companies and the gas companies still want to make their money. And the longer they can hold on to those prices, the better. It does not matter if the flow of oil from the Strait of Hormuz goes back to normal tomorrow. It will not be good for the United States for the next year, or anyone really. It's going to be worse in Europe because they don't have our vast oil reserves that we have. They already pay more than we do. I'm sure Vance is going to be like, oh, $3.50 a gallon isn't that much. Blah, 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 blah. I'm rich. But for people who don't have that much money, it's a lot. 2 British pound super chat. That's a big fucking lie. Get ready for them to go up. Yeah. He's a bot, Tim. Clearly he's a clanker. Yeah, it is also high right now because the gas companies and the oil companies are anticipating the price increasing a certain amount. And it's increasing more all the time. Let's look at it. I got it up somewhere. I've been keeping track. And they're going to be like, oh, it's CNBC, but whatever. The stock market doesn't fucking lie. Here we go. Here, we'll share this because who cares about Vice President Vance? Nobody. Not even Trump. Brent crude. $107 a barrel today, right now. And that is for the April contract for oil, guaranteeing that this is not temporary. This is not just a couple of weeks. Tons of mine says I paid $4.35 per gallon last night. The gas station by me is at $4 a gallon. 3 weeks ago, it was at $2.80. So don't let the vice president fucking lie to you. He fucks couches. You can't trust those people.
Prices were high for 4 years. Gas prices are higher right now. And frankly, they're not even as high as they were during certain parts of the Biden administration because of what's going on in the middle.
He means the beginning of the Biden administration during the height of the COVID pandemic, which the first Trump administration fucked up. And it's about to be higher. It's about to be the highest it's ever been, I think, since the recession.
It's not going to last forever. We got a rough road ahead of us for the next few weeks, but it's
months.
U.S. gas prices have risen 86 cents per gallon on average since the start of the war and Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz. In a bid to help offset those costs, Trump administration announced it is temporarily waiving the Jones.
Yeah, that is a good one. Gas prices were the last thing that the MAGAs could fucking brag about, was that, oh, Trump gas prices are low because of Trump. Not anymore. Gas prices are high because of Trump.
Jones Act, which will allow foreign flag ships to transport oil and gas between
It's
U.S.
not
ports.
going to matter. It's not.
in the next
It already
60 days.
doesn't matter.
The U.S. Federal Reserve is predicting the disruption in the global energy markets will be relatively short-lived, but is giving itself some wiggle room. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says we just don't know how things are going to shake out. What we do know is that interest rates will not be going down yet. As expected, the Fed voted to keep benchmark lending rates unchanged at 3.5% and 3.25%.
You can worry about all of the ways that oil-related commodities go into manufacturing and that kind of thing. The truth is it's completely out of our hands, and we just, like everybody else, we have to just wait and see what happens. And it'll come down to how long, the current situation lasts, and then what are the effects on prices, and then how do consumers react and that kind of thing. Really, I wouldn't speculate.
Ali says in the UK it's £6.50 a gallon. That's a diesel. Yeah, a diesel, I think at the local gas station by me is $5 a gallon. And when I was doing the food truck, when I was owning the food truck, it's a diesel powered truck. So I had to focus on the price of diesel, and $5 a gallon is like height of pandemic. So we're getting there.
In any way, and there's really not a lot we can do other than kind of watch and see.
I don't want to
temporary piece of what, Jerome Powell also mentioning too, right? The interest rate's not going anywhere. That's the easiest decision he's made.
Yeah.
Right. And I think part of this is the spotlight's not on him no more, right? There's
less reporting, more commentary. All right. So yeah, the price of oil. Ooh boy. It's going up. And it's going to continue to go up. So we showed the price of Brent crude. There's also light sweet crude, which is at $95 a barrel. And also, I'll show this real quick before we go. One last thing. We have the stock market. Everyone loves the stock market. Pam Bondi loves the stock market. Oh, it's not even close to 50,000 anymore. Oh, geez, what happened to the stock market? Oh, man. Oh, geez. I think, what was it, middle of February? Where was it, 50,000? I think this was the day, February 10th or February 11th, when she was like, the stock market's at 50,000, guys. Every day since then, it's been getting worse. It's lost about 5,000 points. That's almost correction territory. You go back down to 40,000, we'll be near bear market. So, it's just great all around. Just great all around. Here, let's look at the price of reformulated gasoline. Reformulated gasoline in America. There you go. Now that's $3.09, $3.10 a gallon before taxes. Before taxes. Right? Because there are state and federal taxes on gasoline. I think in my state, the cumulative taxes are about 75 cents. Some states are less, some states are more. Some states have more regulations. Some states it's harder to get gasoline to. So your particular price of gas is probably different than the market price for those reasons. But when did the war start? At the end of February? March 1st-ish? Well, here we go. You can tell. February 27th, the price of gas was $2.07. And then the very next day, it was $2.37. So it has gone up over $1 a gallon in the last month. And it looks like it's on the trend to keep going. So yay us, I guess. Go America. Fucking up everything forever. And there's so many things that are factored in to fuel costs, transportation, the cost of goods for a lot of things. So, don't just look at the price of gas, because it's going to factor into inflation too. Anyway, okay, I'm going to get out of here because I got stuff to do. And Mikey just abandoned me, which is not cool. No, he went to go have fun. Like and subscribe. Also, in about an hour and a half, go to Reagan Elite. Follow them. Join the round table. 8 p.m. UK time. Just type in Reagan Elite to the YouTubes. All one word. It'll come up at Reagan Elite. There you go. Scrolling across the screen now. Patreon.com/The Bin Podcast. Go to Patreon. If you don't want to support YouTube stuff, if you got problems with YouTube, some people should. You should. YouTube is, they capitulate to Trump all the time. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. I'll see everyone tonight for Unboxed, where we'll watch some of these videos and review them. We will see you all tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Very late in the UK is Unboxed, but and I'm going to get out of here. Don't forget to drink your